Hi everyone, this is Meenakshi Ramesh from tapyawaytohealing.com. As we continue the April series of videos honoring neurodiversity and autism this whole month, I have a guest here with me. Her name is Ranjani Sukumaran. She is a board certified music therapist, and I'm so excited and delighted to have a conversation with her this afternoon. Before we start the interview, I'd like to read a little bit about Ranjani, basically her bio. Ranjani Sukumaran MM MTBC is a board certified music therapist who graduated in 2016 with her master's in music therapy from University of Kentucky and her bachelor's in music from UC Berkeley in 2010. Ranjani Sukumaran completed her dance and music arangetram in Indian classical music in 2006 in high school and completed her Hindustani debut performance in Indian classical music in 2010 at UC Berkeley, Hertz Hall. Ranjani Sukumaran provides music therapy groups, one-to-one individual music therapy sessions, private vocal lessons, music and movement groups, Bollywood dance groups, music and art sessions, and yoga sessions to clients with varying needs and ages across the Bay Area. She has been working as a music therapist for the past 9 years since receiving her credential and as a teacher in various subjects for the past 23 years since junior high school. She works across several senior centers, visits clients of varying ages in their homes for individual sessions, and has been providing music therapy sessions and vocal lessons at a local studio on Mission Boulevard, Fremont for the past 5 years. Ranjani recently completed a yoga training program for 2 years for 200 hours and received a certificate of completion. She looks forward to integrating more yoga into her work as a music therapist and encouraging movement, balance, and flexibility in conjunction with musical and therapeutic growth. Ranjani enjoys collaborating with other professionals and helping her clients and students grow and succeed toward their therapeutic goals. She has a love and passion for working with children and seniors and enjoys building a trustworthy bond with her clients and students. In her spare time, Ranjani enjoys Pilates, exercise, and mindful and therapeutic activities. Welcome, Ranjani. Thank you for taking the time to share about music and music therapy with the audience. I was wondering if we can just get started with a song. I'd like the audience to listen to your beautiful voice.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Meenakshi. I have 2 songs. You can choose between the 2. One is a great song that I sing to my seniors from 1958. It's called All I Have to Do Is Dream. And the other song is by Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald from 1931. It's called All of Me. Would you like the first song, All I Have to Do Is Dream, or the second song, All of Me?
Something tells me that I want to listen to All of Me.
Okay, great. Let's do All of Me. They're both beautiful songs. This one, like I said, goes all the way back to the 30s. So nearly 100 years ago. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye, now left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on here without you? You took the best, so why not take the rest? Baby, why not take? Baby, why not take? Baby, why not take all of me, all of me?
Beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Very
you.
heartwarming. Yeah. And, soothing the soul. Thank you so much for starting with the
Yeah.
song.
Hopefully, the
Um,
recording was clear enough on your end and you were able to hear the music.
I was able to hear it clearly, but I was also thinking, my mind was thinking the same. Okay, once the recording is there, I'm going to go back and listen to it and just make sure that, it's
Yeah,
recorded well. Yeah. Yeah.
great,
Thank you for
wonderful.
bringing that up. Yeah. So my first question to you would be, as I was reading your bio, I can clearly see that music has always been a part of your life, probably
Mhm,
from childhood.
mhm.
So were you always drawn to music from childhood?
Yes, music is my passion. I was first introduced by my grandfather from a young age. He was a great musician and teacher. So I worshiped music as a great resource, as a great therapeutic tool from a young age, even before I learned about formally what music therapy is. And Indian classical had a very special place in my heart when I was younger. And then when I was introduced to Western classical and opera at UC Berkeley, that became my new passion. Afterwards, when I learned about therapeutic applications and building relationships in grad school, that became my new passion. So at each at each chapter of life, I've learned how music can play a pivotal role, and each chapter has been enormously impactful in my growth.
Beautifully said, Ranjani. Um, there's more and more research coming out about how music is used as an intervention at hospitals, at especially um, patients who are terminally ill, like cancer, and in rehab centers. There's more and more research coming out about how intervening, using music as an intervention has really helped open up these people at a different level. In spite of all the distress and all that's going on with their physical health. Um, what is again? It says in your bio that you enjoy working with seniors and with children. So that's like a very wide age group, like diverse range. So could you share some experiences from your work, sharing working with children and working with seniors
Definitely.
that stands
Real,
out? Yeah.
I'll definitely answer that real quick if you want to touch on the meaning behind that song. I love to
Okay.
do lyric analysis with the people who are capable of analyzing lyrics to songs. And the lyrics to that song is all of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? So it's all about a soul to soul connection and feeling like completely purposeless without that other half. And I'm sure a lot of people who go through heartbreak or people who have gone through any kind of loss in their life can relate to that song. So, how I would propose a question to my client, let's say if you are my client, which you are my client, but technically it's your son, but how I would propose a question, I can't necessarily do this with your son because the functioning level is a little different. But with you, I can ask you, how do you relate to this song? Which part of you or which person do you see yourself as no longer good without? And you could answer the question and say, for me, it's my other half, my husband. Or go ahead and answer. Feel free to answer.
For me, it's just not being able to express my soul's calling. Yeah,
Mhm.
that would be the part that I'd be missing if I don't have it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's your inner purpose and your inner spark.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
actually a physical person who
Mm,
you derive love and
yeah.
attention from. Wow, beautiful. So you're so spiritually evolved.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It comes probably because of my age. Maybe if you had someone had asked me this question 20 years back, my
Yeah,
answer would have been different.
yeah,
And it just keeps evolving, all these answers. And coming back to music is,
yes.
I think music is also the purpose of music is also to evolve us at all levels, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As a therapeutic intervention, as well as I think it just opens our soul at a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
And I have experienced this with Miss Ranjani, when I take my son Sudarshan for music therapy. It is the We don't know how the hour passes, and it's really evolving, and it's a process and a journey, and we are really enjoying the journey with you, Ranjani.
Oh, thank you so much. Your son has so much talent, extremely talented, so creative, the way he explores and improvises. One of the few clients that I've seen who improvises so freely and so beautifully. So it's true that the hour does pass by. And how interesting would it be if we could tap into his higher intelligence and have him converse about how that song impacted his feelings? That would be a whole nother chapter and step, maybe at some
Right.
point in the future. But I know myself as a therapist and someone who also receives therapy for myself, I like to tap into my feelings and I like to be aware of the impact of that song. And so that's why I asked you, how did you relate to the lyrics, and how did it make you feel? And for you, it made you feel.
It
It made
made me feel it made me connect with my soul, actually.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I
That's
went a
gorgeous.
little deeper. Yeah, yeah, that's
Nice.
what. Yeah, I think I think every time I hear music, that's how I feel. There's this enjoying. I enjoy music, and there's another part of us. There's heals us at a deeper level. So
Beautiful. Yeah.
uh
For me, I felt the passion of the singer,
hmm,
someone who just lost her true love. So I tried to
hmm,
evoke that image and that problem, that feeling,
hmm, hmm,
and I
hmm.
expressed in that way. And so it comes across differently to each person, the listener, the performer, or the provider and the receiver, however you want to perceive it. And so it was a great song selection. The other song is all about dreamlike love. The other song says, when I want you in my arms, when I want you in all your charms, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream. So that's a much more positive, happy song. And the second song that you selected is much more about suffering and distress in some perspectives. Not everyone would perceive it that way.
Right, right. And music, that's where music comes in, it beautifully fits in to,
Mhm.
helping the individual move from that distress to a better feeling place. Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly. And ISO principle is great there for someone who's already feeling happy. You might match their mood with dream, dream, dream. Or they're talking about their soulmate and you might match them with that. Versus someone who's just come out or lost their relationship, you might match their mood with all of me. So it just varies how each song can be a true fit to you and can feel like your inner heart's calling or your inner secret whisperings, and they come out through the song. But to answer your previous question about the children and the types of people that I work with, I felt a real calling towards special needs. I don't know how it
Hmm,
happened because I started off with hospice and seniors in my internship in 2015. And then eventually I started to be called by children with special needs. And I felt that became my true calling. And there's something so fundamentally loving about children with special needs, whether it's ASD or ADHD or any other kind of diagnosis. And to even label them that way or differently abled, however you want to call it, when I'm connecting with them, I no longer see them through that lens. I'm seeing them through the lens of music and connection through the music. So, yes, for formal education purposes and as per my training, I write down their diagnosis. But in terms of a heart to heart or soul connection, the love that blossoms forth is beyond understanding. It's so beautiful. And that's why I feel like I have a special connection with your son. And every time he comes in, I'm always pleased and thrilled to work with him. In terms of seniors and hospice, that's mostly with memory care. So helping them to reminisce, helping them to recall lyrics to words, bringing them back to their older memories and their special fonder childhood memories is some of the goals that I work on with the seniors. And then between children and between seniors, there's sometimes people who are in the middle range. You know, they may just be typically functioning coming in for stress relief, or just a young adult who wants to process and relax. So I would work with them in a different capacity than I would work with my children with special needs or with my seniors with dementia or memory loss.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that question, Ranjani.
No problem.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking about therapies and interventions, but again, like, if you can quickly define what music therapy is, shortly define to the audience, that would be great.
Yeah, that's everyone can Google the AMT, American Music Therapy Association, for great details and fun facts about what music therapy is. But basically, it's the evidence-based use of music for therapeutic goals. So, based on research and scientific findings, we found that music impacts your chemicals, your serotonin, your dopamine, your endorphins. It helps to redirect from pain. So, based on this evidence-based research, we work towards therapeutic goals like improving your attention span, improving your emotional expression, improving your sleep and relaxation, whatever the goal may be. Now, having worked so many years thus far, I can also make a disclaimer that nothing is a guarantee, and no person
Right.
is 100%, victorious in their goals. There's always points of stepping back and reformulating the goals, or points of accepting that this is a hard day or a hard week, and we have to be able to work through that journey together. But I would say that in general, music therapy is very effective and very successful at showing progress over a long-term period.
Right. And one of the things that Ms. Ranjani does with my son is, if we tell her about how his week was, she comes up with songs that can help deal with the stress, on the flow. Like she'll come with my son. They'll sit and talk together, and they come up with a song, and they compose the music then and there, and she records it, and shares it with us, which in turn we use it regularly, on a regular basis at home whenever there is some stress. Sometimes we use it when we do yoga. Sometimes we just listen to it in the car. And Ms. Ranjani has created couple of albums, CDs, which I'm very, very happy to share this here. The wonderful collection of songs. Please do contact me, or I'll put her website and her contact details in the description. Please feel free to. Are the CDs are available for purchase on your website, Ranjani, or how do the people get access to the CDs music?
It's kind of a limited basis with the albums. I'm not selling them actively or advertising them on my website, because I try to keep music therapy and the lessons and sessions as the focus.
Right.
This is just something on the side for some of my clients who might benefit from an album. I sell it to them privately. But definitely feel free to reach out if you're interested.
Sure. So, that's one of her specialities, that she comes up, composes songs which are very helpful, with simple language, which can be very helpful to address stress and any kind of challenges that we face on a day, or as the week proceeds. So I want to share that here. And could you also share the process that you follow when someone contacts you for music therapy?
Yeah, definitely. Generally, it's through my website, but there have been times that I receive phone calls and voicemails. During that instance, I go ahead and I call them back, or I message them, and I schedule a phone consult. And the phone consult is complimentary, no charge, and it generally lasts from 10 to 15 minutes, during which we establish a point of connection. We decide if there's a meaningful connection over the phone, and if their child or the client could benefit from music therapy. If they feel like there's a connection, then we proceed with setting up an assessment date. And the assessment is generally 45 minutes, including a consult of goals. And after the assessment, I send them a report about how the child or client did, along with therapeutic goals. And after that, we set up a weekly or twice a week frequency. And I send progress reports every 3 months. I'm sure Meenakshi is familiar with this, because I've been doing this with her for the past year now, and it's been a pleasure, like I said. And again, everyone has their own process and their own way of working with new clients and new people who reach out to them. This is just my way of working with clients is through my website and through my number. Some people advertise a lot. I'm very simple. I keep a pretty low profile. I don't do much advertising, nothing on a bus. Some people
Right.
advertise on a bus. I'm
Right,
pretty
right. And
simple.
always, yeah, and yes, yeah. And we all have our process. And yeah, and you always get clients through when they experience something really, when they have a positive experience, they're always going to go share about their experiences. And that's a great way to get clients too. Um, my next question is, I think you kind of touched upon it by talking about working with seniors and children. Um, what are the challenges you face as a musician and as a therapist?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like there are a couple challenges. It's in no way to bring down the value of the work that I do, but it's something that I noticed recently as I continue to evolve as a music therapist. And one of the challenges is the nature of the work being so emotionally taxing at times. Working with,
Mm,
let's say it's a younger child with certain behaviors and working
mm,
on helping them to be more mindful with their behaviors, working on their
mm,
attention span, working on their dysregulation. It's a joy to help them make that progress, but sometimes it can be emotionally taxing on yourself. So that's something that I noticed recently. And having coping facilities or a support system to help you regain energy after being slightly drained is one of my solutions to that kind of
mm,
difficulty or challenge as a music therapist. And then that would be my main one is just sometimes being drained with the behaviors. Other
mm,
than that, I feel like people are generally very polite, positive,
mm,
professional. I rarely get rude customers, and I'm very grateful for that because that if I did have rude customers, that would be another difficulty, definitely. So mainly just the working with certain behaviors and feeling drained. In terms of the challenges of a musician, I would say carrying around instruments, as simple and as easy as that sounds, is one of my biggest pet peeves, just between you and me, and for whoever
mm,
watches your YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah.
It's my least favorite thing to carry around all those instruments.
So many
I wish I
instruments.
had duplicates of all my instruments and books everywhere I went.
I totally understand. Yeah. And it's not easy transporting them and keeping them safe and then, taking them
Accounting
back
for
and forth.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, accounting for
Yes.
all them, making
Yes.
sure you have everything. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
I have a similar
what are
question
the,
for you. I have a similar question for
Mhm.
you too. I'm curious to know because
Sure.
you're an EFT practitioner, and I
Right.
wonder what kind of challenges you have in your role as well.
So this challenges in the sense I don't feel that as a challenge right now. When I started my practice, when I put up my website right after I got my certification, I would go teach workshops in the community centers and healing centers here in San Jose and then around San Jose. I I had a difficult time talking to people about the work that I do because when I said tapping, people would just look puzzled and look at me as to what it is. So I myself had to really work on my confidence. I was very passionate about this. I still am. I had a difficult time telling people that this is what I do. This is what I work in my explaining or describing the process and the work as such. But now I've gone past that stage. I've done so much tapping, having worked with clients. Now I just, I have like what to say, reframing statements, the script prepared, and then I just start off with that. And after COVID, most of my sessions, including group classes, everything I do it online. So yeah, it's made it easier. So if at all if there is a
Interesting.
challenge,
I
yeah,
think I can
talking
relate
about
to
my work.
you. I can definitely relate to you because when I first started 8 or 9 years ago as a music therapist, people would always ask me, "What is music therapy?" Or I
Mm,
tried to engage with them in an intervention and they'd be kind of lost. And now, for some reason, I've gained momentum where people are aware of what I do and they respect it and they understand it for the most part. There's a flow. And so, especially back when I worked with my seniors, I would sometimes come in and I would sing a song and they'd all be asleep. And I wonder, am I making any impact? So I can relate to that. Is your purpose, your calling actually having an impact on someone? Um,
Right, right.
so yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
that's a good challenge. And you were able to resolve it just through your work and years of experience and developing a
Yes, yes.
certain way of reframing things.
Right, right. And also giving them the experience, you have to
Mhm.
like, for example, like with your music therapy, yeah, you played music and they fell asleep, but still, that's an experience that you gave them. Maybe they didn't have a good night's sleep and your music, your voice made them fall asleep. So it's just giving them the experience. And once you give people the experience, then it's up to them to decide. We don't have to like, sell us or do anything. They can have the experience and they can decide from the experience. I truly believe in that. We have
Mhm.
to always educate and then give people the experience and then let them decide if it is something for them that's going to
Agreed.
click for them. Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's so
Yeah,
interesting how each population or each group or each individual I go to, they have their own unique experience. And so you can't force what you believe the experience should be.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
accept their
yeah,
own response and their
yeah,
own reaction.
yeah. And one thing that I feel is, as with the decade passing by, as we go through life, like people are always looking for these days, looking for alternative modalities, alternative ways of healing, and therapeutic interventions. So people are more open now. I feel with more as years going passing by.
Mhm, mhm,
That's what I feel. So people are more open to, okay, what is this? I'd like to try something new. So that's a good thing for healers and people who are in the healing arts
mhm,
field actually.
mhm.
So my last question to you would be, if you can share some tips for parents and caregivers on how to incorporate music in their daily lives. That would be
Yeah,
great.
that's a great question. I feel like I had one client who asked for a lot of transference. She said, "What can we do with my kiddo outside of this music therapy session?" And definitely listening to the recordings is one way of transferring that musical energy or that connection that you had in the session to outside of the session. But another way that I would recommend transferring music therapy outside of the session is to find songs and make a playlist for yourself that you truly enjoy, something that's
Mm,
really motivating. And
mm,
during the darkest hours of your day or the most challenging hours of your day, tap into that playlist and see how it motivates you. See how it reframes your perspective of yourself and your life. And another recommendation is to share that playlist with someone who you know or care about, a friend, a family member, and see the conversation or the connection that's generated and see what kind of music can evolve from the music therapy session to outside of the music therapy session. So these are just some simple tips.
mhm.
But yeah, I think it's very helpful. I generally practice my daily life, all my activities of daily living with music as much as possible because part of my training as a therapist was undergoing evaluation of how I receive music too, what it's like to be in the patient or the client role as well. So
Mm,
I constantly help myself grow in that role as well too.
mm.
Um, so that's why I would generally recommend those two tips for music and in terms of transferring skills outside of the music therapy session.
I love the playlist idea. I was actually talking to a parent a couple of days who has
Mhm.
a daughter with special needs, and she was saying that they do this with their daughter, and especially when she's on the exercise bike or something, they have this playlist played, and then that motivates her to exercise. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I love this idea. It's really great,
That's
Ranjani.
perfect.
So,
Exactly.
any final thoughts, comments before we wrap up?
I would love to see a demonstration of whatever you do as well. So it's an equal sharing and a growing experience between two. I know you're my client, but I also see you as a professional and as a colleague. So anything that you want to share, your resources or wisdom, would be amazing for me to learn as well too.
Okay. Um, Again, like I said, I'd like to give people an experience. So if you want to experience tapping, I can walk you through a round of tapping. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, let's try out some tapping.
Okay. So, so, so I'll walk you through the points first, and then just we'll do um, like a round of tapping and demonstrate how tapping is done. Okay. So
Okay.
we start tapping here. It's called the karate chop point.
Mm-hmm.
So just like where a karate master chops, like so, just tap on the fleshy part of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
You tap anywhere between 5 to 7 times. You don't have to count, but just approximately. So this is the first point. And then the next point is the inner eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
You just tap here gently. All these are acupuncture points. The next point is side of the eye. The next point is under the eye, right under the eye, a little above. And then the next point is under the nose. The next point is the chin point. The next point is collarbone. You just go to your collarbone and tap right under the collarbone. So as we tap these points, we are releasing the stuck energy from our body and mind, and we feel energized. The next point is under the arm. So just go a few inches below your armpit and you just little down. Yes, that's where you tap. That's the next point. And the last point is the top of the head point. You tap on the top of the head. And so this completes a sequence of tapping. Now, this is just the tapping part. Now we add the statements. Like tapping is EFT tapping is a combination of East and the West. So now the Eastern part is the acupuncture and the Western part is adding the statements to the tapping. So let's start here again and then say, I release. You can repeat after me.
I release
Anything and everything
anything and everything
that stands between me
that stands between me
and inner peace.
and inner peace.
I release
I release
anything and everything
anything and everything
that stands between me
that stands between me
and joy.
and joy.
I release
I release
any stuck energy,
any stuck energy,
stress and overwhelm
stress, and overwhelm
from my body
from my body
and my mind.
and my mind.
So go to the eyebrow. I'm grateful for this beautiful sunny day.
I'm grateful for this beautiful sunny day.
And I'm grateful for the many blessings in my life.
And I'm grateful for the many blessings of my life.
As I share my music
As I share my music
with my clients,
with my clients,
I set an intention
I set an intention
to help them relax
to help them relax
and benefit
and benefit
from my music therapy sessions.
from my music therapy session.
As I put myself out
As I put myself out
in the world,
in the world,
doing what I love,
doing what I love,
I am open to
I am open to
infinite possibilities,
infinite possibilities,
opportunities,
opportunities,
and miracles in my life.
and miracles in my life. Beautiful. So
Take a
gorgeous.
deep breath.
So
Take a
gorgeous.
deep breath.
Deep breath.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. So I shared some of my music. You shared your beautiful tapping,
Thank you
especially.
for asking. This was so spontaneous, and I just loved the way you were just willing to be so spontaneous. Thank you so much, Ranjani. I
Oh, thank
really
you,
enjoyed this
Meenakshi.
conversation.
Maybe we can incorporate this in a session for Sudarshan in the future for your
Yes,
son.
yes,
That would be a gift and a
yes,
treat for all of us to do it together as a circle.
yes, yes. Oh,
You
sure,
look
sure.
so peaceful. You look so peaceful and calm. I can see it's your true calling now.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Meenakshi.
much.
Well, again, thank you
Thank
for the
you.
honor of interviewing me on your YouTube channel. And definitely keep in touch, and I'll see you later.
Sure, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Let me start.